As someone who's played Minecraft since the game first released, I've spent countless of hours in this one world that I actually consider my forever world, and I'm assuming a lot of you do that too, but lately I don't even want to log in, so here's why my forever world got boring and how you can keep yours exciting. There are many moments I have to myself where I think, why did this world actually get boring, and I think it has one simple answer. I simply ran out of a vision for that world. Now, it's not just like running out of build ideas. I think, it's not as easy as back in the day where you'd set up a Minecraft world and you could build literally anything you want and make it work. It's not as easy as that nowadays. I kind of think if you want to start a Minecraft world, you have to kind of give yourself a plan as to what you want to do with that world, kind of like starting your own business or, starting your own venture. For example, when I first started the world, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of goals and plenty of projects for me to work on. For example, this world seed I had actually worked really well for me to be able to do a underwater base, and it turns out that worked really well. And I was, working on that for a few weeks, building my house to how I wanted it. But then it was like, okay, I've done so many rooms and added so many things to this house now. How big can I possibly make it? What can I do next? And I think that's the main problem why I stopped playing my quote-unquote forever world. The early game grind, exploring, and also having no more clear goals for my world or for my house. This next one might also sound strange, but it is quite a valid one I do want to mention. I feel like over-planning something is definitely one of the main reasons as well. For example, I have a project I want to work on in that world right now, and because I have that idea, you might think, okay, you can start working on it right now, right? Well, it's not as easy as that. I have a clear idea as to how I want the project to look. For example, I want to do a tunnel underwater from my house to another main island. And yes, although I do have, an idea for that project, I think I've overthought it too much to the point where I've kind of burnt myself out thinking about it that much that I no longer want to work on it. It's almost like I finished the world too quickly, even though that in reality, all I've really done is built, a mega underwater house. And unfortunately, yeah, it is that point where I feel like I finished it, although I haven't. And I think that's what the problem is. I have a lack of new challenges or areas to explore. I'm not going to lie though, when you are on a survival world on your own and you're doing all of these challenges, it's quite nice to look back at, okay, look at how much work I've actually put into that. And that's one of the reasons why I started this world in the first place. Sometimes I'll load into that world simply just to, look back at the house I've made because I'm quite impressed with all of the work I've done and how many hours I've put in. That was kind of the thrill of it. But then now not having anything else to work on, it's kind of getting, boring. We all know that Minecraft is so open-ended, but that also means it's easy to burn out without self-imposed goals. Some players feel pressure to build perfect bases instead of actually enjoying the process, and then the excitement of discovery fades if you're not actually creating new experiences. So in order to revive my quote-unquote forever world, and for you to do so too, I have some goals I've set in place, and I think the most important one is basically set evolving goals. So although my goal is to set more goals, I think that's one of the most important things you could do in order to, revive your world. Instead of building a mega base, try building a village for every biome and, constantly improve the challenges you're wanting to work on. Otherwise, eventually, you will get bored of doing the same thing. Don't forget, we also have added challenges and restrictions now, such as, hardcore rules, for example, or you could do it with limited tools, no elytra, etc. Give yourself a challenge that you might not think sounds fun at first, but the more you do it, it actually makes playing the game much more interesting. Even occasional collaboration can breathe life into the world you're trying to build. For example, you could play with other people. Now, if you don't have a lot of people on your friends list, or you simply, your friends that you do have don't play Minecraft at all, then try maybe considering, setting your world into a realm and then promoting it on social media in order to make friends and, play with other people. If you are going to consider that route though, I would highly recommend creating a copy of your world, because let's be honest, sometimes when you invite random strangers to your realm, you can't always trust everybody, but the people you can trust, make sure you build friendships with those people, and therefore you'll have more people to play Minecraft with. Also, if you do want to consider going the route of setting yourself more challenges, which is something I definitely want to do myself as well, I always like to think big when doing that, so not just setting myself some challenges, but setting myself massive challenges. For example, rather than just like digging a hole, why don't you dig the biggest hole Minecraft has ever seen by hand? You can't use anything else other than your hand, or even, for example, draining an ocean monument, which I believe IBX Toycat has done and other creators, setting the bar. There is no bar, basically. You can continue raising it as much as you can to the point where your excitement just grows bigger. The reason I'm making this video is because, yes, I still go through this still sometimes as of today, but I also know a lot of you guys do as well, and one of the main questions I get asked is, should you reset the world or keep going? And sometimes I think that taking a break from the world or starting a new project in the same world is better than actually getting rid of the whole thing. Show how new chunks or updates can be incorporated without actually abandoning everything. I think you'll thank yourself later down the line. That's why, for example, they say it about all the projects you work on. When I'm editing a video, for example, I could be working really late at night, getting really stressed out because it might not be going the way I want it to, but then I could wake up, the next day or even 2 days later, look at it again and think, actually, that worked really well. And as crazy as it sounds, even if you get some outside opinions from family members or friends who know a little bit more about Minecraft, it really helps a lot. And I think, just trying everything you can is the best way to revive your forever world. Just think to yourself that your forever world doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just literally has to be alive. Minecraft worlds only get boring when we forget they're supposed to grow with us. And, Minecraft worlds, I believe, aren't supposed to be made just to sit there. And I think this is why it's important to, for people to do everything they can in order to set the challenges and constantly, keep playing the worlds as much as they can. Because let's be honest, some of our Minecraft worlds we've had since the game first came out. Our Minecraft worlds have literally grown up with us. It's why I wanted to make this video, because I know a lot of people struggle with it, such as myself, hence why I thought I'd offer some of my advice, because I know a lot of people sometimes don't actually see the other side of it, and they just completely forget about their world and never play it again, and that's not something I want to happen. So I am curious, comment below if your forever world is still going strong, or unfortunately if you have had to let one go. Also let me know down below in the comments. Again, just to emphasize, you could have so many ideas, which yeah, is great, it's fantastic to have ideas, but unless you plan out strategically how you want to work on those projects, things can get a little more difficult, and that's what I'm trying to get across. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a like, click subscribe, and also share it with your friends. I have some other videos on screen right now that I really need you to watch, and I think you'll really enjoy. Make sure you go over there, leave a comment on them, and I'll be responding to every single one of you.